Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Friday, the 10th of April. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're going to talk about Putin has declared an Easter ceasefire, Russia has labelled the human rights group Memorial as extremists, and Iran better not impose tolls on the Strait of Hormuz, says Trump. So firstly, Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday announced a ceasefire in the war with Ukraine for the Orthodox Easter holiday, the Kremlin said. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for an Easter ceasefire earlier in the week. Putin had declared similar ceasefires last Easter, but each side accused the other of violations. Following Putin's announcement, Zelensky said that Ukraine will act accordingly. Orthodox Christians are due to mark Easter this weekend on April the 12th. So what? I mean, this is really positive news for civilians on both sides as they can enjoy their Easter holidays, ideally in peace and harmony, not fearing for, drone attacks, artillery near the borders, and ballistic missiles. So that is a big win. But it is likely that it's going to be used to quickly try and reinforce locations on both sides. If troops can be moved, equipment can be brought up to the front, and it's possible that we could see more assault, offensive action. Earlier next week if they are able to bring stuff forward fast enough. Putin will likely frame this as, he's trying to be the symbolic head of Orthodox Christianity and that he's the protector of this type of Christianity and like a religious leader and this is his duty, etc. But it's likely he's just done this to avoid any political backlash within Russia and internationally in the Orthodox Christian communities. And next, Russia's Supreme Court on Thursday declared the Nobel Peace Prize winning rights group Memorial an extremist organization and ordered an immediate ban on all of the group's activities in Russia under threat of criminal penalty. The move is the latest in Kremlin's years-long attack on internationally respected groups and will allow authorities to hand down long jail sentences to anyone caught supporting or participating in any memorial activities or even sharing material that is published. What is not covered here is what Memorial is. So it is a human rights group that looked at identifying and supporting the people persecuted under the Soviet Union. And yeah, you can imagine why that is not currently seen as a good thing in Russia. So what? This is a pretty standard TTP for Russia at this stage. We've seen it for other groups like Pussy Riot, the band, Alexei Navalny's political party, etc. They just declare them terrorists, and then anyone supporting them, giving them money, they can basically crack down on. They can seize their financial wealth. They can shut down any of their premises. Anyone that openly supports them can be arrested, tried, punished, and put in prison basically immediately. And yeah, it's almost certain that he's trying to remove any voices that highlight issues related to this war. So I had a quick read and it seems like Memorial was starting to highlight, what the Putin regime is currently doing that is similar to what the Soviet Union regime did back in the day. So you can see why Putin's not a fan of that. As I said, now the Kremlin can go after their money, supporters and infrastructure. Basically now, if you want to support this group, you have to be outside of Russia, which I'm not sure if they had left Russia and were working in absentia, but we'll have to have a look into that. Could be quite an interesting video. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see a YouTube video on that. And lastly, US President Donald Trump has made a serious post on Truth Social on Thursday, critical of Iran. He warned Iran of imposing tolls on ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. He wrote that there are reports that Iran is charging fees to tankers going through the Hormuz Strait. They better not be, and if they are, they better stop now. In a separate post, Trump said that oil would soon be flowing and that Washington would achieve this with or without the help of Iran. Trump previously suggested the United States and Iran could run a joint toll program in the critical waterway without providing details or any indication that Tehran had agreed to this proposal. In a later post, Trump wrote that Iran was doing a very poor job of allowing oil to go through the Strait of Hormuz, adding that this is not what the agreement we have. Iran agreed to reopen the strait as part of the 2-week truce with the United States that went into effect on Wednesday. So what? Firstly, someone just needs to go check on Trump. some of his tweets last night were fucking crazy. He wrote some wild shit. Just basically the rantings of a madman. So yeah, someone should go check on his well-being, make sure he's doing all right. And yeah, it seems to contradict previous reporting around the US letting them impose the toll. And as I said previously when we talked about the truce a few days ago, I think this toll would almost certainly upset GCC nations and could lead to like a complete disconnect from the US financial system. You know, if they're no longer using the US dollar to pay these tolls, then why are they using it to buy the oil? They could start using Chinese yuan, and it could just be the complete unsettling of the US dollar dominance. So definitely something he's probably had pointed out to him since agreeing to the toll, and now he's trying to somehow reverse the position publicly, saying that it's not what they agreed to, even though that contradicts what he previously said. But he doesn't seem to give a fuck about that. So, you know, game's a game. Anyway, that's been your Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again on Monday. See you.